Good afternoon. It's your man Cloud. Oh, good afternoon. I don't know what time you're watching this. Let's try that one more time. Good day. We'll rock with it. It's your boy Cloud, and today we're going to be watching What Makes a Real Man by Jubilee. I'm not going to be watching all of it. I heard they like to do a little bit of copyright striking, so I'm going to be watching a good bit. Gonna shift through these questions and see what catches my eye. But they have 25. Oh, I'm gonna let them explain it. Let's get right into it.
Heard women say I hate men.
Of course,
Literally.
absolutely. And
Death to the patriarchy.
A lot of these ideas of what you think misandry is are just your misogynistic instincts and assumptions being exposed.
Yeah, so now you're assuming that I'm misogynistic
I'm not
because
assuming.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not assuming. That was not an assumption. I gave you a very clearly
You're
rhetorical
demonstrating
path.
it right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I hate because that's literally the definition.
Do you think he's misogynistic?
Yeah, probably. I think we all are a little bit, some more than others. Yeah.
All right, it's 2025. Trump is president, and we're back with another Middle Ground XL behind me.
Hold on. Why is why is Trump being president relevant? Why is that irrelevant during this debate? Hold on.
25 traditional men and 25 progressive men.
Okay.
We're gonna ask them some questions, and we're gonna see if they can find a middle ground. Our first question is, should it be socially acceptable for men to wear skirts? Come forward and find your speaker for this issue.
Well, my opinion, firstly, men have wore skirts culturally for a very long time, so I don't care. Traditionally, it's a thing.
I like fashion. I tried to dress nice today.
You did dress nice today.
Thank you, thank you. I'm wearing a woman's sweater right now. This is from Brandy Melville. But background, in my culture, like I'm Native Hawaiian, men have traditionally worn skirts. We go back to other cultures, Japan, long gowns. Traditionally, men have been seen in history to be wearing the same clothes that women do now, and America is a much younger society than any of these cultures that have dated back thousands and thousands of years.
Okay, so first I'd like everyone to take a second and take a look at the fellas and what they're wearing.
Traditionally.
Over there. Let's be so real right now. How are they going to argue about what fashion? Yeah, about what fashion is supposed to mean in a manly sense or traditional sense? It's the intention.
Scotland and in India, they wear dhotis. They're not wearing skirts because they think they're a woman. Here in America, that's the reason that they're wearing skirts, is because they are trying to project that they are a female or the opposite sex or gender fluidity or any of that. And it's just nonsense. No,
again, it depends.
Not.
It depends on your intention. It depends on your culture. If your
Depends on your intention.
is to be feminine, right? Obviously, it's not right.
That's what they say. It depends on their intention.
When it comes to just masculinity in general, like I'm in the camp of you provide for your.
My philosophy is, does that person wearing a skirt hurt you? Does it hurt me? Does it hurt anyone around us? No? Cool. Then I don't care.
Your wife, you protect her. You should be a pillar. Any sign of like wearing a skirt or something like that, like obviously, bro, like it's not the move.
This is kind of representative of.
Right, because when Hawaiian Samoan men were wearing their skirts, their women just is he actually wearing a skirt right now?
A general idea of what a man is supposed to be in terms of how we dress, how we conduct ourselves in public. I think most men look at what a man is supposed to dress like and
the chief,
look at that and see, well, now I have to justify the difference between that and me.
Clothing is not gendered. We make it gendered. Anything that we're wearing could be a woman's whatever. So we put titles on things, and I have a feeling nobody over there doesn't have any argument against any one of us.
Facts. So we basically know what the progressive and the conservative men are gonna say. You know, conservative men are basically saying, in certain circumstances, it should be acceptable. Progressive men are saying it doesn't matter what circumstance it is. And so now let's listen.
One and done. It is right. All right, both sides have chosen their speakers, so let's bring forward Juma and Riley.
Getting Hebrew Israelite vibes from Juma, and that's not a bad thing whatsoever. But just an observation.
Should it be socially acceptable for men to wear skirts? You've got 8 minutes to find a middle ground between the two of you. Go for it.
Well, I believe that men can wear whatever they want, and pertaining to skirts, particularly, I am a native Hawaiian person. Traditionally in the culture that goes further back.
What percentage though? Like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say you're not, right? But what percentage? That's my question.
In America itself, men wear skirts. Japan, men wear long gowns.
It's
you know,
not, it's not called a skirt though, specifically.
I know,
It's
but
called
again,
something else.
Now we're gonna play. They're not wearing skirts though. They're wearing kimonos.
again, it's just different
Like,
cultural
I'm Muslim,
norms.
I wear a thobe sometimes.
Yes, but it's
Like some
cultural
cats in the
norms.
military, I've roomed with guys in the military, and they said like I had to shoot the dude in the dress. So it's like, nah, like, do I take it personal? No. That's just according to that group of people, that's what they call it, right? Like, I wouldn't call a kilt a skirt.
Okay.
No, that's a cultural symbol. What a skirt.
But if you didn't know the name of the kilt, say you weren't knowledgeable of the Irish, Scottish, Netherlandic, whatever area it's from, the Scottish culture, you weren't knowledgeable of the Scottish culture, how would you know that it's called a kilt? Me as an American not being knowledgeable of Scottish culture, I would call it a skirt. That man's wearing a skirt. Then somebody would come and tell me, oh, no. They called that a kilt in their tradition, in their culture. Okay, cool. This is a skirt though. Like, it's a skirt, bro. It doesn't matter how you, like, yeah, it's a kimono, cool. It's a bijou, whatever. It's a skirt.
Means in today's society is different. But go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
I mean, yeah, like I was saying, traditionally, culture that go further back, where clothing.
Me looking at
only
it,
has
it's a
meaning that we
skirt.
set to it. So, you know, if I someday decide that you're
Please, I don't know how anybody would be able to argue something like that. The whole reason we have language, the whole reason anything has a name to anything, because we gave it a name, we gave it a meaning, we gave it some type of value.
your skinnier pants are feminine because I got baggier pants, right? Then I can do I get to ridicule you for that? Do I get to outcast you for that? That's just my question. Again, going back.
So
Why
it's
is it
a
not?
question I'd like to ask.
Why is it not socially acceptable?
What it represents is that's femininity, yo. Like there's no question about it. Like if you're a dude walking around in a black leather skirt, like you're saying a lot. Like Jaden Smith is one of them cats that was on Vogue. Like nah, like we've seen what a skirt represents as a man, at least in North American culture and even some Asian cultures. Like I've been to South Korea. There are a lot of hyper feminine men out there. The only thing that I didn't see in South Korea was cats putting on makeup in the mirror. But for some reason, whenever I would go outside, I see hella cats wearing makeups, foundation, eyeliner, all that stuff.
So femininity is negative, and for men to express yeah, but is it okay to express feminine things? What do you think about my nail polish? What do you think about my
Like
skinny
me
wash?
personally, bro, I ain't rocking like
Okay,
that.
that's cool. That's great. But I am. So is there anything wrong with that?
That's a feminine trait
Yeah.
that maybe you want to exude
Okay.
about yourself.
Okay.
Now, like if we walk down the street, like I may interact with you a little bit
Yeah.
differently just because like I see
Why?
the fact that you're wearing nail polish.
What does that mean? Like,
Well,
would you?
generally, bro, like whenever cats are like wearing nail polish,
Yeah.
they're a little bit more hyper feminine.
Okay.
They may try to hit on you or just other stuff in general.
Okay.
So it's like
So you're afraid? I mean,
no, I'm not afraid.
Damn near sounds like homophobia, I'm not gonna lie to you. Wow.
even outward expression of femininity does not define sexuality. I mean, like there's a lot of
Good point. Great point.
Straight guys out there, a lot of, people who are in like, emo punk scene wearing black nail polish for fun. People who wear lots of rings, completely straight, and it doesn't matter.
Representation though of what that
What
means.
does that mean?
So like a guy wearing like, he's obviously counterculture, right?
Yeah.
Like if he's like the emo punk kind of guy. Also like borderline like devil worship at times.
Devil worship?
Yeah, like that can be clearly associated with it with a pentagram. A skirt isn't indicative of what a masculine man.
I'm not gonna say much on the pentagram. Not gonna say much. I study things like that though, and just
man should represent in today's society. We got a lot of over feminization of a lot of guys. Like being a solid man that your wife can look to, or whoever that you're taking care of can look to and be like, yo, that's my pillar. Like if
so because I wear 32 Levi jeans, plaid button up, I am the pillar of my family. Sounds good to me.
something going wrong in my life, they got me. And if you're
You know what? It's because you put on a shirt, Levi's, able to take care of the household.
walking around wearing a skirt, bro, like, okay, there might be cats that can walk around wear a skirt and they solid to the people that they can take care of, right? But the exception isn't the rule. Most cats walking around in a skirt, bro, they're not super breaded up. They're
And see, this is where capitalism, consumerism comes in and this destroys, I mean, not even destroy, like our minds have been set on this consumerism, capitalistic mindset for you've grown up in this environment. Yeah, now that I have it on, I'm just gonna put it on. Growing up in this environment where we feel like we need to be the most wealthy of wealthy. And we can never be happy where we're at. And this is why I don't down religion. Because, boy, if we did not have religion, a lot of things would be going wrong in this country.
They're just cats trying to express themselves sexually because they've given up on the financial part.
Did he not just say that it's not exclusively sexually, it's also emotionally? Oh my goodness.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people who express like feminine traits,
it's easier to be from.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people who express feminine traits, and have been, in the media for wearing skirts. Harry Styles is the biggest example. You think he's not breaded up? You think Young Thug is not breaded up? Like people like that.
I was about to fall back into my conservative ways. Hold on. I'm sorry. Yes. I mean, yeah, those I didn't pause.
Yeah, but at what cost though? Like now you're starting to tap into the fact of like, nah, like it's pretty obvious and it's out in the open now that a lot of these rappers, a lot of these cats grabbing ankles. These same dudes that wear skirts are the same ones that were popping up at the Diddy parties. They holding hands with Diddy, calling him daddy.
I mean, again, this kind of just goes back to the argument that a lot of people try to push
that's feminization.
That gay people are groomers and they're
on top of that, bro, like I get it, bro. Like I get like it's a cool piece of clothing. Like my pops, he owned a fashion label. He did it in the 90s where he exclusively designed women's clothing out of Egyptian silk. I totally get it. From a fashion perspective for a woman, like bro, it's amazing. Like bro, I think a woman looks good in a maxi skirt. But I'm saying I don't think a dude should be walking around rocking that.
And I guess my question to you to dig deeper is, should this be, mandated? Should you, bully people who are wearing skirts?
It shouldn't be open, common practice being taught to kids like, hey, bro, go to school wearing a skirt. Like, I'll tell you right now, like, the time me growing up in East Oakland, you go to school wearing a skirt, it's going to be rough for you.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you on that, but we should break down that stigma of people
Back in the day.
having to be scared of what they choose to wear. No, because if
people are scared. I'm gonna let them explain.
Like you said, I should be scared coming, to where you're saying wearing a skirt or feminine attire.
You did
or
say that.
accessories or anything like that. So should people have to fear for self-expression.
So I'll explain to you this, right? Like, I was a shooting specialist at Banana Republic for almost 2 years, right? And like, dude, like, I see a whole bunch of cats walk in there, different arrays, different budgets, you know what I'm saying? And I'm helping them get to where they gotta get.
What does that
More than
mean?
likely, man, like, the cats that I saw wearing skirts, man, those ain't the kind of guys that, like, you know, the cat like me would want to rock with. Like, the cats that I rock with, they're solid through and through. Like, I'm a business owner. I'm also a professional fighter. So it's like, nah, bro, like, just that kind of energy, it's not conducive for me to be around, because I need to cultivate a certain kind of mindset, a certain kind of atmosphere around myself in order to achieve what I believe is peak to what I need to be.
I'm sorry, can we not choose who we interact with? I choose to interact with nobody every day. Choose to interact with only my family and my few friends every day. That's what I choose. You can choose not to talk to somebody in a dress. Sorry, huh? Please. Please.
So Riley, based on kind of what you're hearing coming from Juma, what do you think is a middle ground statement that you think you could both agree on, or that you want him to agree on?
I would like for you to agree on that men should be able to express themselves. In fact, anybody should be able to express themselves however they want, skirt, nail polish, whatever, and that it should be.
We're focused on
Okay,
skirt, not the nail polish.
Men should be able to wear a skirt, and it can have a positive stigma around it if they so decide.
If culturally they come from a culture in Muslim tradition, right? There's this wrap that you can wrap
I'm not even
around
talking
your
about that.
waist. Some people would call that a skirt. So like that kind of cultural thing, no problem. But we're talking about North American problems. We're not talking about every other place.
So what's the middle ground that you think?
The middle ground
Riley.
is culturally. If that's where your family is from, rep where your family from. Rep your culture, rep your set, whatever it is, right? But you as a man, if that's something that you want to do, bro, by all means, bro. Just not that close to me, though. It's good.
Well, I disagree.
So are we just gonna make a gay town now? A dress skirt or skirt city? Fuck. Like, now we're trying to bring back segregation.
I think that men should be able to express themselves however they want, and that's it. I don't think there should be any, especially clothes.
But what I'm hearing is, even if you don't agree that it should be, that you think it's socially acceptable, I have heard you say that men should be allowed to wear skirts if that's how they want it. You know, if that's what they want to do.
If that's what bro wants to do, by all means. But
That's
I'm
what bro
saying
wanna
from
do.
like a cultural, religious perspective, it's not conducive to what a good nation trying to bring stronger individuals into the world should be doing.
See, there's like there's a background to this. It's not because you just don't like the clothes, right? What do you think? Like, I don't understand that you think it makes someone less of a man, less masculine, and that in turn makes them weaker for wearing a skirt.
What he
In
thinks.
North American culture, I do not believe that it's acceptable for a man to wear a skirt. I'm not going to find a middle ground in between on that.
I like to propose that it's okay for a man to wear whatever he chooses.
If that's what you believe, I respect you enough to agree with you on that part. But me personally, like you as an individual, if you want to do that, by all means, bro. But nah, not for North American culture. It means something different here.
So is that you saying that doesn't work as a middle ground statement?
No, we're not going to find a middle ground.
Okay. I think we can leave it at that.
I already knew that. I already knew they wasn't gonna find a middle ground on that one.
Handle your business.
We did not find a middle ground in
Cooked
that
them
last
with that
prompt,
skinny
but
jean,
we're
though.
gonna
Cooked them with the
try.
skinny
We're gonna
jeans.
Move on to our next prompt, which is: does society need more trad wives or girl bosses?
Who can define these terms?
Okay, so a girl boss is like a girl who like slays the house. She's independent, bro. She's her own boss. You know, she don't need a man.
And the trad wife is what? Traditional.
Is like a woman who's like, I gotta cook and clean for my husband.
Girl boss doesn't necessarily mean going out and being a CEO or doing whatever. It's just an empowerment of doing what they want to do. Being able to choose that, you know.
There we go. It's yours.
All right, both sides
So
have
what-
chosen
we know
a
what-
speaker.
we know what
to
those
debate
two
this
are.
prompt. So let's bring forward Anthony and Greg. Greg, Anthony, the question was.
Let me show you something though. Peep. Notice, notice. Man spread, 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 spread. Now, less prevalent over here. Less prevalent. Cross, 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 cross. Just making observations.
Does society need
Making
more trad
observations.
wives, more girl bosses? I'll let you take it from here.
I definitely think that society needs more trad wives. Putting women in the workplace is actually a failed feminist movement, which minimized wages for men, and then it gave the government free control over the children, right, through a public education system. And I think that that's also why we have a lack of masculinity in society. So.
Okay. Yeah. So there's 3 claims there. There was the government controlling the children.
That's not what I said.
And then the wages being stolen.
Hold on. That's not what he said?
Greg,
That's not what he said?
Anthony, the question was, does society need more trad wives, more girl bosses? I'll let you take it from here.
I definitely think that society needs more trad wives. Putting women in the workplace is actually a failed feminist movement, which minimized wages for men, and then it gave the government free control over the children, right, through a public education system. And I think that that's also why we.
He verbatim said, putting women in the workplace gave the government free control over the children through public education. That is verbatim what he just said.
We have a lack of masculinity in society. So.
Okay.
And that is the reason for the lack of masculinity in this society.
Yeah. So there's 3 claims there. There was the government controlling the children.
That's not what
Correct.
And then the wages being stolen from men.
Correct.
I didn't say it was stolen.
Oh, sorry. How did you phrase it?
No, you said it was like minimizing wages for men.
Minimizing. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Causing an impact
Women
on
are
men.
taking-
And what was the first one?
It was moving women to the work.
Moving women. Okay. Yeah. So there is no statistically significant difference between the cognitive abilities of men and women. You can obviously find an outlier study or two that says something else.
Sure.
And so
That's not what we're debating, though.
Well, no, but it's to. I'm building to my point.
Come on now, God. Be patient. We're having a conversation. Obviously, he was building up to something. Anybody with a little bit of patience, 2 cents.
Yeah. So in that context, I think we should have a society that empowers men and women equally to pursue whatever works best for them and in their relationship. Like, for example, we have friends who are married, man and woman, and they are both in healthcare, and they both take turns working. Like, dad will work one day, mom will work the other day. And I think it's awesome if we have career opportunities. We have things like, affordable childcare, paid family leave, anything in society that supports people to make the decision that works best for their family, I think is positive. And I think if we had better options for people to pursue what works for them individually, we would have, as the prompt described it, more girl bosses.
But I think your argument is that if only we were to put women in workplaces, which no one's debating that they shouldn't be, the question is not should we restrict women from doing it, it should be should we have more trad wives, right? And so my argument is that there are studies that show that having, and I can speak personally, I've been married for close to 20 years. I was in the military for a little bit over a decade. I worked, I provided.
2 years?
That's worked for me. That's worked for my parents.
For some reason, it
that's
sounded
worked
like
for
you
my
said 200.
grandparents. That's why we're traditional. We carry down these traditions from family to family. And so we see that our children are thriving. I see that my children have a mother at home that loves them and is able to be with them for their school events or for sporting, things like that. And it's worked for us. So, the question is, do we need more girl bosses? Do we need more women away from their children? And I just don't think that that's what we need more of.
So why? So if the woman is away from, it's just one parent's at home and one parent's at work, right? That's kind of what we're describing.
And honestly, I'd say that, yeah, maybe parents do need to be, I think parents in general, the mother and the father need to be within the child's life a lot more. Just because I have a wife at home taking care of the kids, what does that mean for me and my child's relationship? You know, like if I'm working 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week, not being able to see my children only when they're asleep at night, I'm getting home so late. What does that do to me and my child's relationship? I'm not able to make it to games. I'm not able to make it to a lot of different things because I work so hard.
I mean, it's just, so what is the issue with a man?
And then they're gonna say, oh, they're going to appreciate you because you worked so hard and you spent all your time, and they're gonna know that you love them because you spent so much Come on. Let's be for real.
Being the stay-at-home parent.
Well, I just don't think that's the role of a man. I mean, and here's the reality. My wife and I both work from home. I'm out in the field a lot because I'm an independent journalist, so I do travel a lot more for work.
Right.
But we both work from home, and that's actually great too. You know, because then I also get to partake in a lot of the things that we do. So if like my kid has a sporting event 2 p.m., I'm not stuck in the office. I'm able to do that. But going back in where I was deployed for months at a time and having my wife stay at home, I think that it would have been detrimental that not only do my kids have a deployed parent, but they also have a mother that's stuck at work 8 to 5.
Oh, definitely. I think that I think we're not necessarily disagreeing there. So what you're describing is, in your situation, it made the most sense to have your wife be a trad wife, right? I'm a millennial.
Like, obviously, bro, if I'm being deployed for months at a time, obviously I need somebody to take care of my children, which is going to be the mother. Come on, bro. Like,
I feel silly saying trad.
You know what? I'm gonna end it here because this shit is about to turn me up. Jubilee, y'all know what it is. Let's see if they're able to come to a middle ground. Or any middle ground.
Let me just let's empower families to do what's best for them.
Yeah.
It's a little soft. I think we need to address, like the role of women, which is what this prompt is saying.
I mean, hearing all 7 minutes of you, it's just I wasn't convinced of like why we need girl bosses, right?
Right.
I listened to the
so
statistics.
that's why we make
and things
individual
that work, right?
decisions. I'm not convinced of anything about your life, but
Sure.
I think
Even though
should,
studies show like it's better for the household.
So my opinion is that we should trust 2 adults.
Number one, and these are the questions that you have to ask when we're talking about studies. Firstly, who made that study? Who's paying for that study? Because studies aren't free. Surveys aren't free. Doing experiments are not free. Who's paid for that study? Who's carrying out the study? And then what is the population? What is the sample of the study? See, this is the wrong time to be talking about studies. Man, I'm in a statistics class right now. I know all about studies. Not all, but I know, so you got to ask, you have to be very precise with questions and information when it comes to these studies because you might get something wrong. You might unintentionally put information out there that you didn't mean to put out there. Now, people think you're racist or homophobic or misogynist.
Adult people to make a decision about what's
just very nuanced, though. It's just it can mean anything, right? Oh, we should allow 2 parents to just do drugs all day because it's better for them.
Okay.
So it's just too nuanced. What I would say is we can live in a society where I guess girl bosses can thrive legally and trad wives can also thrive legally. I just think a girl boss can already thrive. It's harder for a woman to become a trad wife than it is for a woman in today's day and age with the current policies to become a.
That has to be one of the dumbest fucking things I have ever heard in my life. It is harder to be a trad wife than it is to be a girl boss. Maybe my definition of girl boss is not everybody else's definition. Because my definition of girl boss is you're a CEO of your own company, which means that you have to manage a lot. You have a lot of responsibility on your plate. and that responsibility dealing with other human beings, other adults, not just children, not just your husband and your children. You're dealing with other adult human beings who have their own emotions, and a lot of them at that. Not saying that children and husbands don't have their own emotions, but what I'm saying is you don't know these people. These people are strangers to you until you obviously get to know them. You can to a degree control your children. You can to a degree control your husband. You could control their emotions. You cannot control some stranger's emotions. You can't control your CFO's emotions. You can't do that. You can't control an employee's emotions. Especially nowadays, we don't stick up for that. Yeah. But to get back on topic, being a trad wife is harder than being a girl boss. Let's talk about it. What do trad wives do? Trad wives wake up, get the kids ready for school, maybe get the husband ready for work, clean, cook, maybe go grocery shopping if she need to. The girl boss is doing what the trad wife doesn't want to do. Let me say it again. The girl boss is doing what the trad wife doesn't want to do. The trad wife doesn't want to go outside and make a living for herself. She wants to rely upon a man that she believes loves her to the very end. And this is why I believe that there should be more girl bosses, because these women will believe that this man loves them with all their heart, and then one day the man goes cold turkey on them. The man disappears. The man's kicking them out the house, and you can't do anything because your name isn't on anything. You haven't paid a single bill, right? And so it's like it's tough. I'd rather girl bosses 100%, but
a girl boss.
What is a version of it you would be able to agree with?
That we need more trad wives.
You're not giving us anything.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
I'm trying. I'm working pretty hard here.
I think we'll just have to. We did.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. It's been way too long. You're about to make me mad, honestly. But you guys have a great day. So beautiful outside.